Good day, viewers. Read the Bible with me. Exodus chapter 34. Yahweh said to Moses, "Cut two slabs of stone like the first, and I will write on the slabs the words that were on the former slabs that you broke. Be ready in the morning and come up to Mount Sinai and wait for me on the top of the mountains. No one will go up with you, and no one is to be seen anywhere on the mountain. Even the sheep and the cattle are not to graze near the mountain." So Moses cut two slabs of stone like the first. Then he rose early in the morning and went up to Mount Sinai as Yahweh had commanded, taking in his hands the two slabs of stone. And Yahweh came down in a cloud and stood there with him. And Moses called on the name of Yahweh. Then Yahweh passed in front of him and cried out, "Yahweh, Yahweh is a God full of pity and mercy, is slow to anger, and abounding in truth and loving kindness. He shows loving kindness to the thousandth generation and forgives wickedness, rebellion, and sin. Yet he does not leave the guilty without punishment, even punishing the children and their children for the sin of the fathers to the third and fourth generation." Moses hastened to bow down to the ground and worship. He then said, "If you really look kindly on me, my Lord, please come and walk in our midst. And even though we are a stiff-necked people, pardon our wickedness and our sin and make us yours." Yahweh said, "I am making a covenant with you in the presence of all the people. I will do marvels never yet done in any land or nation, so that the people among whom you live may see how awesome is the work of Yahweh that I will do for you. Obey what I command you today. I will drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Take care to make no treaty with the inhabitants of the country you enter, lest it be a snare for you. Rather shall you knock down their altars and smash their sacred stones and cut down their Asherah poles. Do not worship another God, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. So make no treaty with those who live in the land, for they prostitute themselves to their gods and sacrifice to them. Otherwise, they will invite you, and you will eat of their sacrifices. Then you will take their daughters for your sons, as those daughters prostitute themselves to their gods. They will lead your sons to the same. Make no molten gods for yourself. Keep the feast of unleavened bread for 7 days. In the month of Abib, you are to eat unleavened bread, for that was the month you went out of Egypt. All that first opens the womb is mine, and every firstborn male of your livestock, sheep and cattle. You shall redeem the firstborn of a donkey with a lamb. If you do not redeem it, you must break its neck. Every firstborn of your sons you shall redeem, and no one shall appear before me empty handed. You shall work for 6 days and rest on the seventh day. Even at the time of plowing and harvesting, you shall rest. Celebrate the feast of the weeks with the first fruits of the wheat harvest and the feast of ingathering at the turning of the year. 3 times each year, all your men shall appear before Yahweh God of Israel. I will drive out nations before you and extend your boundaries. No one shall covet your country when you go up 3 times each year to appear before Yahweh your God. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me together with leavened bread, and do not let anything from the Passover feast remain until morning. Bring the very best of the first fruits of your soil to the house of Yahweh your God. Do not boil a kid in the milk of its mother. Then Yahweh said to Moses, write down these words, for these are the requirements of the covenant that I have made with you and with Israel. Moses remained there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights without eating bread or drinking water. He wrote on the slabs the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 slabs of the statement in his hands, he was not aware that the skin of his face was radiant after speaking with Yahweh. Aaron and all the sons of Israel saw that Moses' face was radiant, and they were afraid to go near him. But Moses called them, and Aaron with all the leaders of the community drew near, and Moses spoke to them. Afterwards, all the Israelites came near, and he told them all that Yahweh had commanded him on Mount Sinai. When Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil over his face. Whenever Moses went before Yahweh to speak with him, he took off the veil until he came out again. And when he came out and told them what had been commanded, the Israelites saw that his face was radiant. Moses would then replace the veil over his face until he went again to speak with Yahweh. Exodus chapter 35. The Holy Tent. Moses assembled the whole community of the people of Israel and said to them, this is what Yahweh has ordered to be done. Work is to be done for 6 days, and the seventh is to be a holy day for you, a day of complete rest, consecrated to Yahweh. Whoever does any work on that day shall be put to death. You must not light a fire on the Sabbath day in any of your homes. Moses spoke to the whole community of the people of Israel. This is what Yahweh has commanded. Set aside a contribution for Yahweh out of your possessions. Let all give willingly and bring this contribution for Yahweh: gold, silver, and bronze, purple wool of violet shade, and red, crimson wool, fine linen, goat's hair, rams' skins, dyed red, and fine leather, acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, precious stones and gems to be set in ephod and breastpiece. Let all the most skilled craftsmen among you come and make all that Yahweh has commanded. The holy tent, its covering, its hooks, and its frames, its crossbars, its posts, and its bases, the ark with its poles, the mercy seat on the ark, and the veil that screens it, the table with its poles and all the furnishings for it, and the loaves of offering, the lampstands for the light, with its accessories, its lamp, and the oil for the light, the altar of incense with its bowls, the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, and the screen for the entrance of the holy tent, the altar of burnt offering with its bronze grating, its poles, and all the furnishings for it, the basin and its stand, the hangings of the court, its posts, its bases, and the screen for the gateway to the court, the pegs of the holy tent and of the court, together with their cords, the beautiful priestly vestments for service in the sanctuary, that is, the sacred vestments for Aaron the priest, and the vestments of his sons for the priestly functions. Then the whole community of Israel withdrew from Moses' presence, and all who wanted to give came, bringing their contribution for Yahweh, for making the tent of meeting, for all its functions, and for the sacred vestments. They came, men and women, all giving willingly, bringing brooches, rings, bracelets, necklaces, gold things, every kind, the gold which each one had offered to Yahweh. All those who happened to own purple wood of violet shade, or red, crimson wool, fine linen, goat's hair, ram skins dyed red, or fine leather, brought them. All who could contribute to the collection of silver and bronze brought their contribution for Yahweh, and all who happened to own acacia wood suitable for any in the work to be done brought it. All the skilled women get their hands to spinning and brought purple wood of violet shade and red, crimson wool and fine linen from what they had spun. All the women willingly used their special skill and spun the goat's hair. The leaders brought precious stones and gems to be set in ephod and breastpiece, and the spices and oil for the light, for the anointing oil, for the fragrant incense. All the men and women of Israel who wanted to contribute to all the work that Yahweh had ordered through Moses to be done brought their free offering to Yahweh. Moses said, "The people of Israel, see, Yahweh has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. He has filled him with the Spirit of God and given him understanding, skill, and ability for every kind of craft, for the art of designing and working in gold and silver and bronze, for cutting stones to be set, for carving in wood, for every kind of craft. And to him and Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, he has given the gift of teaching. He has filled them with skill to carry out all the crafts of engraver, weaver of fine linen, embroiderer in purple wool of violet shade, and red in crimson wool and fine linen, as well as of the crimson weaver. They are able to do work of all kinds and are skillful designers. Exodus chapter 36. Bezalel and Aholiab and all the skilled craftsmen to whom Yahweh had given skill and understanding to carry out all that was required for the building of the sanctuary did their work exactly as Yahweh had directed. Moses then called Bezalel and Aholiab and all the skilled craftsmen to whom Yahweh had given ability and who felt able to do the work. They received from Moses all that the people of Israel had brought as contributions for the work of building the sanctuary. In the meantime, the people continued each morning to bring their offerings. So the skilled craftsmen who did all the sacred work, besides their own work, went to tell Moses, "The people are bringing more than what is needed for the work which Yahweh has told us to do." Moses then sent this command throughout the camp: "Let no one, man or woman, do anything more toward the collection for the sanctuary." So the people were stopped from bringing any more. The material they had was enough, and more than enough, to complete all the work. All the most skilled craftsmen among the workers made the holy tent. They made it with 10 sheets of fine twisted linen, of purple wool, violet shade, and red, and of crimson wool, finely embroidered with angels. The length of a single sheet was 28 cubits, the width 4 cubits, all the sheets being of the same size. They sewed 5 of the sheets together, and the other 5 also. They attached loops of violet wool to the border of the last sheet in one set, and did the same to the border of the last sheet in the other set. They put 50 loops on the first sheet, and matching them one by one, 50 loops on the border of the last sheet in the second set.